Good evening to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Actually, it is not today's editorial, it is yesterday's editorial. Because of a technical problem, I could not do yesterday, and it is an important editorial. Though it is yesterday's editorial, you can learn a lot of words, and because we do the sessions based on proficiency point of view, should not make much of a difference. What is the tone of this editorial is all about awards, Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Awards, and an important editorial. You may get as a passage in prelims or mains. The tone of the passage is critical and advocating for change. Here there is one word, advocate. Advocate is a noun, you all know lawyer, but here as a verb, working for a particular cause, promoting a particular cause, or trying to find a solution for a particular problem, we use the term advocate. We'll go to the editorial. How does it start? Broadening the field on science awards and the Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize winners. As I said, this is all about Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar prizes and about the winners. But what is the main idea of this editorial? Science awards should aim to encourage more young scientists. What should be the aim of science awards? The writer says should aim to encourage more young scientists. There is one helping verb here, should. Should has two functions. One, it is used to advise or suggest someone. In this context, that is a meaning. Advise general, suggest specific. The second meaning of should, it is used to express a possibility. Possibility, but brackets, less chances. Chances are less, you can use should, could, might. Chances are more, you have to use may. That you have to recollect. Here the writer says science awards should aim to encourage more young scientists. Any editorial like this, what could be the broad framework? It talks about the awards and initial information. There should be some reason to write the editorial, so it has to touch the stimulus. What is the reason behind writing this editorial? Then it may touch who won awardees, because it is about awards, and what is a suggestion. There was a problem they did not announce last year. What could be the reasons behind? And finally, it touches a suggestion, how they have to be done. After a delay of nearly a year, the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, SCSIR, who is this? Sir, have cleared phase 1 for SSC selection post examination for the post of librarian, and now I have to send document for scrutiny. Oh, congratulations, Tapa. Glad to know that. I wish you a very bright future. Online student, wonderful, very good. Others, please congratulate him. Thapa has got he has got selection, post of librarian. That is really good, Thapa, very good. I appreciate that. So after a delay of nearly a year, the CSIR, the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, has announced winners of the Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar SSB prizes. Instead of prizes, they should have used the word awards with a legacy. Tapa, my student, online student, a very good student. You deserve it, Tapa. Very good. With a legacy, we have got this word many a time. Legacy means what? Something you get from different generations down the line. Many generations down the line, you acquire something and that is followed. Then we use the word legacy. Generally, we talk about legacy when we talk of that part of speech noun. Cultural legacy of India. Cultural legacy means culture of India, cultural legacy, an important combination. But here it talks about the awards. How long have they been there? Over half a century, almost you could say 50 years. With a legacy of over half a century, the awards they comprise a cash prize, citation, you can also say citation, and salary perks are awarded annually to scientists under 45 with outstanding work in the fields of biology, chemistry, engineering, mathematics, medicine, earth sciences, and physical sciences. A lengthy sentence, but in a nutshell, it starts with how long they have been giving last for the past 50 years, and what does award comprise. There's one important word here, comprise. Immediately you have to become alert, and you have to think of two words. One is consist. Consist of you can say, but comprise of you cannot say. It comprises something, comprises of not correct. Consist of is correct. And a cash prize. Here you have to recollect the word CITE, cite, also quote. From this you get a citation. They mention why the scientist has been chosen for what work. And salary perks. Perk, which part of speech is it? Obviously noun. Incentives. Usually, what happens when you take up a job, you have your salary. Besides the salary, you are entitled to, you may get a few perks, something like a petrol allowance and some other allowance and some incentives. We use the term perks. So, the award comprises a cash prize, citation, and salary perks. And these are awarded. We award something, plural form, are awarded. It is in present perfect, present tense, passive voice. We give awards, awards are given. Scientists are awarded. We award scientists, scientists are awarded. Present tense, passive voice. Annually to scientists under 45 with outstanding work. Outstanding means what? Extraordinary. Part of speech, obviously, work is a noun. But mind you, work can be a verb, can be a noun. Here it is a noun, and the word before that an adjective. Outstanding work in the fields of all these fields: biology, chemistry, engineering, mathematics, medicine, earth sciences, physical sciences. Some of India's most accomplished scientists have been awardees. Have been awardees. A lot of students may think it is in passive voice because they look at the word been. Need not be. You have to think of two sentence patterns. She has been something, a student. She has been given something. The first one is present perfect, so is the second one. Then what is the difference? Ah, stellar work. Very good, Anisha. I appreciate that. She has been is present perfect, active voice. She has been given is also present perfect, passive voice. So you have to look for the verb after been. If you don't see a verb after been, then it is in active voice. If you see after been a verb in past participle form, obviously it is passive voice. Some of India's most accomplished. Accomplished means what? Accomplished means achieve something outstanding, something extraordinary. Part of speech, a verb. Here, adjective. Some of India's most accomplished scientists have been awardees, and it is not a stretch to say. There's an important expression you have to remember. We have come across this for the first time. Not a stretch to say means it means something like I'm not exaggerating. Not to exaggerate. Not a stretch to say means not to exaggerate. That they are akin to. Akin means what? Similar. They are similar to an Indian Nobel and fairly coveted. Coveted, an important word, part of speech, adjective. Generally, it goes with coveted post. In this context, what is a combination? Coveted award, coveted prize means most sought after, most sought after. Today, if you take in the field of engineering, IITs are the most sought after, and management IIMs are most sought after. When it comes to civil services, there are about 28 services. IAS is the most coveted post. Means what? The most sought after. It was unusual then, important, equivalent to, similar to Indian Nobel, and fairly coveted. In spite of that, it was unusual then last year when the CSIR did not announce awards despite the winners having already been picked before September 26. The institutes of Foundation Day and traditionally the date on which the year's winners are announced. What does it say? A lengthy sentence. These awards are coveted, sought after, and similar to Indian Nobel Prize. But in spite of that, it was unusual then. What was unusual? Last year, when the CSIR did not announce awards, despite, very good, you have to recollect, despite, in spite of, the winners having already been picked. This is an important pattern. Having been picked, have been picked, having been picked. Difference is there. Having done the work, non-finite work, having the work, having been done the work, or having been done something. Here, having been picked is in passive voice. But non-finite verb. What is a non-finite verb? It does not have a tense. It doesn't have to agree with the subject in person and number. They selected, they picked the winners. In spite of the fact they picked the winners, they did not announce. So it was unusual. When were they supposed to announce? September 26th. What is so special about September 26th? The Institute's Foundation Day, and traditionally the day on which the year's winners are announced. Last year they did not announce. Usually what happens, every year they announce, last year they did not announce. Then comes the question why? What could be the reason behind? Next sentence talks about that. The background to this was the government's decision to prune prizes to scientists. There was a decision. What was the decision? Prune prizes to scientists. I would rather prefer the word awards instead of prizes to scientists. What is the part of speech of the word prune? Keep guessing the part of speech. Find, found, one verb. Found, founded, a different verb. Part of speech, verb. Based on that, there's a technique called pruning technique. We can use ing form as an adjective. What is this pruning technique? Where is it used? It goes with gardening, especially when it comes to making bonsai. How many of you know the meaning of the word bonsai? Bonsai means dwarf tree. A tree usually grows to a size of height of say 20 feet, 30 feet, but a dwarf tree usually it is only 2 feet, and its age could be 100 years or 200 years, sometimes 400 years. And in Japan and China, this is a family tradition. Imagine a particular tree age 400 years. For one generation, not possible. It could be four generations, one generation to another, from one to another, that way. 4 or 5 generations, they take care of the plant, they do this pruning technique, and the height is restricted. And here I have used one word dwarf. Usually, we come across very short people, say about 5 feet or 4 feet, very short, not even 5 feet. I can say 2 feet, 3 feet. And we use the term dwarf for those people. But there's another important word you guys have to know. We also use the word midget. He is a dwarf, he is a midget. Midget also means the same, dwarf. But dwarf trees, we use the word bonsai. And nowadays, of late, they have become very popular in our country. And usually they cost about in thousands and lakhs. Lilliput, very good, Nagesh. I have heard that after a long time. You can say Lilliput also, but better words are dwarf, midget. So, what was the reason behind they wanted to bring down the number of prizes or awards to scientists? Another reason could be there were too many. Why? No, the reason why did they want to bring down the number of awards? There were too many awards by various ministries. The reason too many awards by various ministries, thereby reducing its prestige. Too many awards, there's a saying in English, what is it? Too good is too bad. Too many awards, the prestige may come down. So, based on that, a Ministry of Home Affairs communique, remember we got this last week, a public statement given to the press, usually by the heads of different countries. In this context, the officials, a communique suggested there were plans to announce one big award akin to, again, you have got similar to, a Nobel Prize, but none has been announced so far. Why did they want to? One reason why they did not announce last year, they wanted to bring down the number of awards because too many ministries, too many awards, and based on a communique, that's what it looks like, apparently. And also, besides, there were plans to announce one big award. Imagine 20 awards, too many awards, they cut down 10. And in place of 10 awards, they give in place of 20. And in place of these 10 awards, they may give a big award equivalent to Nobel Prize. That was the idea, but none has been announced so far. Here, none, an important part of speech. Tell me what part of speech is it? None is a pronoun, but that is a basic question. Which type of pronoun is it? Indefinite pronoun. What is it? Indefinite pronoun. Indefinite pronouns are none, one, someone, somebody, no one, nobody, everyone, everybody. But two are important. What are those two? None and one. None usually takes a plural verb, but if it is followed by a phrase like, in this context of the prizes, understood, none of the prizes has been announced so far, then it takes a singular verb that you have to recollect. A big award akin to a Nobel Prize, but none has been announced so far. It is in present perfect passive voice. Present perfect tense, passive voice. One also important, it goes with common errors. A lot of people say one should remember his duties. Wrong. One should remember one's duties. One should always respect, one should always remember what he has to do. Wrong. One should always remember what one has to do. While the MHA ultimately decided to retain, though they wanted to cut down, they retained. Retain part of speech verb. What does it mean? To hold. Retain the SSB prizes. The government's long silence on its future did not foment concern among scientists of their likely discontinuation. There's an important word we have got for the first time. Foment means what? It has many meanings in this context. Instigate, part of speech verb. You can think of related words: instigate, incite, provoke. All these words you have to recollect. Ah, very good. Retain, hold, sustain. Science awards. Now, the second part of the editorial talks about the difference between an award to a scientist and an award to an athlete or a sports person. Science awards, unlike, again, you have to recollect an important rule that goes with conjunctions. When you join two subjects using expressions like with, along with, together with, as well as, like, unlike, there are so many, the verb agrees with the first subject. Unlike those given for, say, athletics or athletes, are not meant to fit the outcome of a defined, demarcated contest, such as a match or a race, but are a recognition for industrious work. There is one important word, fit, part of speech, fate, you can say, part of speech noun. It means a public function, usually to recognize someone's success, public function. And when it comes to science awards, imagine a sports person has been given an award, perhaps you can go for fate. But science awards, you don't celebrate in public. No one does it. That's what the sentence says. Science awards, unlike those given for, say, athletics, are not meant to feed the outcome of a defined, demarcated contest. When it comes to sports, obviously they get the award based on a particular match, their performance, or an event, their performance, outcome of a defined, demarcated contest, such as a match or a race. But science awards are based on their a recognition for industrious work. Industrious has nothing to do with the word industrial. Industrious, part of speech adjective, means what? Hardworking. You can also think of the word diligence. Diligence, noun form, diligent, adjective. Industrious work done over time. Scientists work for many years. Usually at the fag end of their career, they get some award and recognition. That's what it means. That have led, again in present perfect, what is a verb here? Lead. What is a past form? Led. That have led to significant advances. Significant advances, noun, adjective, means what? Important. Important advances in science or technology. They are meant to encourage the winners to persevere. This is an important word, though we have got many a time. Persevere means what? Continue despite problems. Imagine you're working, you're trying for something, and you have a lot of problems. In spite of those problems, you continue. Then we say persevere, persevere. And what is a noun form? Perseverance. Against the uncertainty. They survive against the uncertainty. What is this uncertainty in the field of science and technology? Inherent in the scientific enterprise. Inherent, an important word. What part of speech is inherent? Inherent means an adjective. Inherent, nature, adjective. Means innate, inbuilt, intrinsic. All these words you have to recollect. Perseverance, noun form. Persevere, verb. Inherent in the scientific enterprise. If a scientist conducts 100 experiments, one could be successful, may or may not. So some sort of uncertainty prevails, which on an average is a financially less rewarding career. Financially not a rewarding career than several other options a trained scientist could have embarked upon. Embark means to start a journey. Olden days we would use embark, start a journey and go on a voyage. Embark upon a voyage, a long journey. But here, career path. What does it mean? Career path. Now it talks about the winners, and some personal stand has been taken. This year's 12 winners are all male, with 11 from centrally funded institutions. Within these two, the winners are largely from the Indian Institute of Technology. There are two things the writer wants to highlight. One, all the winners are male, male scientists. The other, many are from IITs. Based on that, the writer expresses an opinion. While the chosen candidates are certainly deserving, he admits on the one hand the chosen candidates are deserving. On the other hand, the writer says there are surely many more women or researchers from state universities who deserve recognition for their work. There may be a lot of scientists, a lot of women, and they also deserve recognition for their work. And so, based on that, and so rather than reducing the number of awards, there is actually a stronger case, a stronger reason for expanding the remit of these awards. Because there's so many women, so many scientists at the state universities, there is a reason to expand rather than shrink the number of awards. Given the government's tireless espousal of its commitment to diversity and expanding opportunities to those beyond enclaves of privilege. A lengthy sentence, what does it mean? Because there are so many talented people, women among women at state universities, They have to increase the number, not decrease. One point. Second, why should they do that? The government always talks about tireless espousal of. Espousal means encouraging something, promoting something, of its commitment to diversity. Imagine only male scientists, there's no diversity. Only IITs, no diversity. Because the government talks about encouraging, embracing, espousal also means embrace a new idea, implement, of its commitment to diversity, and expanding opportunities to those beyond enclaves of privilege. Privilege means exclusive right. Enclaves in this context, IITs and central research institutions. Beyond those enclaves of privilege, there are some people, deserving scientists, they should also get recognition. The success of India's Chandrayaan 3 mission demonstrates that great victories and moments of triumph also means great victory, we have got many a time, are built on consistent encouragement. Encouragement is required in any field. While prodding, prod means PLOD, prod, verb, to step heavily, to step heavily on something. Along the dark alleys, alleys means what? Part of speech noun. Narrow roads, narrow paths, I will say. Dark, narrow paths you try to walk, and you, while plodding along the dark, narrow paths of uncertainty and failure. What are these paths? Paths of uncertainty and failure. 100 experiments, one experiment could be successful. Then they need consistent encouragement. If they do that, obviously we can see better, more scientists, more awards, and more accomplishments. The tone of the editorial is critical and also advocating diversity among the scientific community. What are the questions you can think of based on this editorial? What are the Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar prizes and who are they awarded to? Easy to answer. Why was there a delay in announcing the SSB prize winners last year? You have to write the answers. Ali, friend, usually it goes with the Tirupatra, very good. Companion, that goes with the country, you can say. What was the government's initial plan regarding science awards and how did it change? Initial plan was what? A big award equivalent to Nobel Prize, but later back to square one. What is the purpose of science awards? What is the objective? According to the passage, how many SSB prize winners were announced this year and what is notable about their demographics? How many? You have to mention the number. Demographics. You can definitely touch 2 points. One, all male, the other from IITs. But what matters here, you have to write the answers in your own sentences. That shows your writing skill, that shows your comprehension skill. Let us go to these yesterday's editorial actually, day before yesterday's editorial. Based on that familiar context, you should be able to get all correct. Neighboring states have taken preparatory steps to ensure that porous borders do not bring the infection across Kerala. This is a challenging one. You got to read very carefully for two reasons. One, challenging because not easy at the outset. Second, I did not do this editorial day before yesterday or yesterday I was to do. One day I did not do. Let's see how you're going to spot the error. Neighboring states, subject, have taken preparatory steps. Have taken what? Preparatory steps, verb, object, present perfect tense. Why have they taken? To ensure that, ensure, make sure, assure, provide some sort of confidence. Porous, porous borders, usually we don't use this with borders. If you take an animal, invertebrate animal, porifera, there's a particular group, we say there's one animal called sponge, not sponge. Here, someone writes, Sonu, आपकी class कब कब होती है? I just got recommendation by YT. Oh, really? That's a bit surprising. A pleasant surprise. Porous means to have very small holes everywhere. If you take a sponge, not sponge, it has a lot of small holes. Then we say porous in nature. And if you take a particular layer, imagine water spreads from one layer to another layer, seeps. You can use the word seep. Also, the layer is porous, permeable. Very good. That's what I was about to write. Permeable. Borders. In this context, allows a virus or the disease to spread to the neighboring state. But no one has answered where is the error. Mosquito net also. Do not bring the infection across. Nothing wrong to ensure that porous borders do not bring the infection. Nothing wrong. Across from Kerala, we have to use a preposition from. Across from Kerala, without from the sentence is wrong. Here, the preposition from is a must. To ensure that porous borders do not bring the infection across from where? From Kerala. That is very difficult under pressure. Let us go to question number 2. Should not be that difficult. Previous one based on preposition. A research has shown, subject has shown, present perfect, what? That anthropogenic activity has a definite hand to play. Here we have object, a clause shown that anthropogenic, subordinate clause. Anthropogenic activity has a definite hand to play. Present perfect tense. Difficult to understand, such a Prasad. Across from Kerala, Sonu. Bring the disease. I'll write bring the disease uh, across Kerala. Imagine without from, what does it mean? Bring the disease across Kerala? That does not make any sense whatsoever. Here, bring the disease across from Kerala to other states. Based on that, here we have to say, bring the disease across. Across means to other states, across the borders. From where? From Kerala. That's what it means. Research has shown that anthropogenic activity, singular, has a definite hand to play. Standard expression. No, here there's an error. Last part. A definite hand to play in zoonotic spillovers, not on, in. Shravani has got it right. Very good. Wonderful. Thanks for your response. Nagesh also. This is also not easy under pressure. It has a definite hand to play in something. He has a definite role to play in. He has a definite hand to play in. In is a correct preposition. This is also based on, all of you remember, questions based on prepositions not that easy. Based on prepositional rules, easy. Based on prepositional phrases, standard expressions, very difficult. That is the reason why I tell students read the Hindu. Let me spend 2 minutes on something important so that you realize. I know you all know the importance of the Hindu, that's why you are here. If you take prepositional combinations, the Oxford University has published 2 books, volume 1, volume 2. Volume 1, 15,000, volume 2, 15,000. How many prepositional combinations? 30,000. Is it possible to read all the 30,000 and remember? Impossible. But exam point of view, prepositional combinations or fixed prepositions, an important exam topic. Then what are you supposed to do? When you read the Hindu paper, headlines and editorials, you come across important prepositional combinations. One exam they have given, access. When you read the Hindu, many a time, access to power, access to the CM, access to information, access to resources, access to something, access to someone. It gets registered here. And in the exam, you see access, then there's a blank. Without your knowledge, the word pops up, and you know the right word is to. And you will be exposed to important prepositional combinations. In the exam, they touch the same combinations. You cannot read all the 30,000, impossible. No, the Hindu, beyond any doubt, no other paper. In my opinion, Times of India, not a paper worth reading, language point of view, intellectual point of view. It is more like light reading. Intellectual reading is different, light reading is different. Today, if you take all IAS aspirants, first choice is the Hindu. Why? The language is different, intellectual approach, not yellow journalism, no commercial approach. And after that, we talk about nowadays. Indian Express also, they're doing extremely well. Second choice. And the Times of India, more casual reading. 30,000, two volumes. Volume 1, 15,000. Volume 2, 15,000. Only prepositional combinations. So you got to be smart. You should know what to read, what not to read, how to read, where to stop. Here in, if you are exposed to the language, you know this, otherwise impossible. Let us go to question number 3. No, who is this? Upendra Bharatham. I use only English. What is the reason? If you follow my sessions, say for about 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you can easily understand, you can easily follow, irrespective of your background, Telugu medium or Tamil medium or Kannada medium. I have students from across the country. This platform, we have students from across the country. Many of those, perhaps from Kerala, from Tamil Nadu, from Karnataka, from the north also. Still, they understand my English. What is the reason? Initially, you may find it a bit difficult, but if you every day you listen, you watch. I use very simple English. I speak very slowly. Should not be that difficult. As a graduate, you should be able to. You will be able to. What is the right word here? It is not habit. Habitat. Habitat. I know. Sonu. You are able to follow. Initially, not easy. Matter of 2 weeks, because you should have a positive attitude and the patience. 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, whatever I say, easy to understand, not a big deal. Here, habitat, an important word. Today we talk about loss of habitat. You may get as a passage in prelims or mains. Darjeeling, Tapa, wonderful, a nice place. A habitat means what? Home of a plant or animal. Plant or animal. What does it mean, home? Not literally. It means, thank you very much, Sacha Prasad. It means a place where a plant or animal can survive. If you take a fish and you take it out of water, can it survive? It cannot survive. Its habitat is aquatic, aquatic habitat. Could be a river, could be a lake, could be a stream, could be an ocean. Very good. Here, many students could spot the error. Habitat is the right word. Flora, fauna, that's right. While experiences from the prior is an important word. First, you spot the error, then I will tell why it is important. Prior outbreaks have given medical teams a toolkit of protocols. Constant vigil can only be the guard against such outbreaks. The one who is expert in anything, once a beginner, wonderful. Nagesh, I appreciate that. I usually tell students all things are difficult before they are easy. Oh, who is this Manoj? Sir, I'm your student. I used to listen from 2019. Currently, I'm working in Telangana Gramina Bank. Wonderful. Glad to know that Manoj, you still have time to watch these videos that shows to what extent you're interested in enhancing your knowledge, improving your language proficiency. That's really good. Highly appreciable. Here we have to say whenever you come across the word only, you got to be careful. There's one important rule. We should use the word only before whatever it describes. Based on that, constant vigil can be the only guard against such outbreaks. Only guard against such outbreaks. The word only should be before the word guard. Then it is correct. Otherwise, usually people say she has solved two problems only. Wrong. She has solved only two problems. Then it is correct. So you got to be careful. This is a bit challenging. Let us go to close test. In a way, you cannot fill us close test. Because of the technical issue, today also I could not bring a lot of exercises, but I'm going to change the approach most probably next week or if possible tomorrow. I will come up with a different presentation, more value addition, better outlook, more learning. Now you guys got used to this approach. I have to take it to a higher level. Lightning, an important word. There's a difference between lightning, spelling lightning, thunder, they go with a storm. But there's another word, lighten. From that you get lightening, lighten something, lighten someone. You got to be careful. Lightning is unlikely to strike the same place twice. Usually it doesn't happen. But the Nipah virus is again, the moment you see the word havoc, you have to think of wreak havoc, a wreaking havoc. He is wreaking havoc. So what is the right word here? Be is the word. A wreak havoc. I'm going to come up with the e-magazine also. I'm working very seriously on that. Let us take a holistic approach, better approach. Wonderful, Suresh. I appreciate that. He is wreaking havoc in cozy code. The fourth what? Oh, you have second one is what? Outbreak. You have gone to the fourth one. The fourth outbreak of the disease in Kerala over the last 5 years, caused by this is an important word. What is the meaning of the word zoonotic? Zoonotic spillover. Spillover means spreading in this context, but spillover usually goes with water liquid, overflow. Here, spread over from one person to another person, one region to another region. Zoonotic means diseases spreading from animals to humans. What is the correct word here? The transmission of pathogens from animals to humans. The closest reservoir of the virus is fruit bats. Some usually what happens, people have a wrong idea about perception about bats. There are some bats, they suck blood. No, zoonotic means spreading from one animals to humans. Spillover means spread. Vampire bats means what? Blood sucking bats. I hope I'm not blocking the view. Blood sucking bats. This is part of Western culture. Based on vampires, which are blood sucking bats, they have taken a lot of movies, Dracula movies. In all the Dracula movies, you see a man transforming into a bat, the teeth coming out, and he sucks blood of another person. But if you take some bats, they eat only fruits. Then what is the word? Fruit eating bats, we use the word frugivorous. Because I'm blocking your view, I'm writing here. Frugivorous, frugivorous, fruit eating animals. Then you have to recollect invariably to be a smart learner. Carnivorous, herbivorous, omnivorous, and cannibalism, all these. With two persons, so what are the last two words? Being hospitalized, disturbing memories from the terrifying outbreak. The other day we got two words, terrible, terrific, and here terrified. Terrify means frighten, scare. Terrifying outbreak of 2018, in which 21 of 23 infected people died, have surfaced. And here, terrifying F, surfaced E. Have you got all the six correct? Because I did not do the session yesterday, no vocabulary consolidation. This is the last slide for today. Try to get all the five correct. A little confusing, not idioms actually. These are lack of time. All these things happen. There's a saying in English: haste makes waste. Don't do things in a hurry. All the six I do very good. I appreciate that. All these are phrasal verb: break out in something, bring somebody down, bring somebody up, bring something up. Very confusing. Tripura Sundari, all six wonderful. Anusha says, break out the first one. Break out means what? It goes with, very good. It is D or E. It is 7 p.m. Sonu. Every day 7 p.m. Same day editorial. Only today, yesterday's editorial, but every day, same day editorial. Today is an exception. Because I could not take, because of the technical issue, I could not. Breakout, not, no. First one is E. Breakout, there was a breakout in the prison. It goes with prison. Imagine the inmates or the prisoners escape. Then we use the word breakout. E is the answer. Breakout in something. If you don't know, hold that one. Bring somebody down. Bring somebody down means what? Make someone unhappy. Here, C is the answer. Bring up someone, somebody up means raise a child. It is B. Bring something up, start talking about a subject. A. Now, what are you left with? Break out in something, broke out in rash, develop a skin condition. Second one is D. That's why I said these are not easy. First one is E, second one is D, third one is C, fourth one is B, and the fifth one is A. Who has got all the five correct? That's good. But do remember, between two topics, they come under exam topics. I also say they come under effective English, idioms and phrasal verbs. Between the two, idioms are easy and interesting. Phrasal verbs, obviously. Phrasal verbs are confusing because they have two or three meanings. Same verb, different phrasal verbs. Bring, you may have five or six. Break, you may have 10 or 15. That obviously results in confusion. But what you have to do, you have to make your own examples, practical, a real, associate, make an association. Then you can definitely remember. That's all for today. Thanks for being with me till the fag end of the session. I may see you guys tomorrow. I may come up with an editorial, a new approach, a new pattern, more holistic, more value addition. Let's see how it goes. Thank you very much. Do remember to subscribe and share.